Hello and welcome back to another episode of this week's watches, and we're back up to bigger numbers now, and it looks like it's going to be that way for the next few weeks because you guys and girls have all just woken up and sent me pretty much everything. So thank you very much, I do appreciate it. Keep that going. So if you do have a watch you want to sell, kibblewatches.co.uk, click the sell button at the top of the website, and it's super simple, nice and easy form. I get back to you usually within 24 to 48 hours. If it's been longer than that, just re-message me. It just means it's been lost or we are that busy, and sometimes we are, so I do apologise. And I also want to say it is absolutely boiling and humid here in the UK, so I'm sorry if I look a sweaty mess. I do apologise, and I also apologise if the light is coming in very sharp. This time of the year, it comes straight into the office and pretty much blinds us all. But you know, here in the UK, we moan when it's sunny, we moan when it's rainy, we moan no matter the weather. And again, thank you for another great week. You guys and girls were super patient with us being in Leicester and pretty much out of the office the whole week. But come that Friday, we got everything out to you guys and girls, and we even did Saturday special delivery for you. So you got it on the weekend, and all of you seem very happy with your new watches. So I do appreciate it. We have no plans of going anywhere just yet. We're going to still be in the office every day. So if you need us, send us a message, WhatsApp, Instagram, whatever it is, but stick to one platform, please. I have to say this every week because we end up getting messages on Instagram, on WhatsApp, or phone calls, and all the different things from the same person, like from one person, I mean. So if that is you and you do that, please don't. It just confuses things, and we have different people actually monitoring the different platforms, so we'll end up getting conflicting information, and it just will get confusing. So keep it simple and be patient. That's the easiest way. Okay, and before we dive into what's on the table, we have got some amazing stuff for you guys and girls. Let's have a look at what's on wrist, and a watch that I need to wear more, and it's one from the personal collection. It's an absolutely stunning Omega DeVille Chronostop, dynamic, everything in, you know, all the vintage Omega names pretty much all bundled into one. They made this piece for 1 year, from 1969 to 1970, and I believe they stopped it because production just wasn't easy. They often have a little bit of case wobble, so the movement doesn't sit in very securely, to be honest with you, but these are very charming watches, very beautiful and very, very nicely done, and this is probably one of the rarest watches I actually own, and it's a very unknown watch from Omega, so definitely check them out if you're okay. Now that all the rambling is out the way, let's dive into some watches on the table, and as I said, we have got some special stuff. So let's actually start with probably the one that you're all looking at, and that is the beautiful JLC Reverso. What a way to start this week's drop, and you'll have to excuse any background noise. Obviously we've got the windows wide open, trying to let as much air in as possible, but this is probably the quintessential and most beautiful Reverso they have made. Obviously, except from the original, which this is obviously based on. This is the Tribute to 1931 JLC Reverso, the Garand size, ultra thin, and the reference is 277.8.62. You can see absolutely gorgeous, really nice condition. This one is an unpolished example. It has got some scratches and a couple of hairline marks here and there, but overall very, very nicely done. And we can get it obviously fully polished if you would like it done, but you know, I wouldn't really recommend it. You can see it does come on its JLC strap, JLC buckle, which is actually a pin buckle, which I so prefer to their deployants, to be honest. I just find them rather uncomfortable for my wrist size. But let's flip it over, and you can see this is the plain side. So there's no engraving or anything like that, and obviously if you would like it engraved, get all my fingerprints off there, if you would like it engraved, obviously you can get that done, you can get a motive, you can get whatever you want on there, and the mechanism for flipping it around is super easy, super nice to do as well. And obviously the invention of the Reverso was for polo players, to protect their watch, or the crystal of their watch, whilst playing polo, because taking your watch off was a no-no apparently, so there you go. But a really gorgeous example. Inside here is the manually wound JLC caliber 822, and this example is from February 2013, and it does come with its full box and paperwork, as you'd expect, and as I said, unpolished condition, which is the best way. There's a couple of examples available, but they appear to be polished. They haven't stated so, but if you look especially around this part right here, is where you'll see whether it's polished or not for certain. Have a look at our macros as well. We always do nice macros, and let's show it on wrist. So here we go on my 6 3/4 inch wrist. Perfect proportions. This is absolutely beautiful. So 27mm by 46.5mm lug to lug. I feel like this is like the top end size for a JLC. I wouldn't go any bigger than this personally. Only 7.5mm thick and 20mm lugs, just really perfect proportioned, and it just looks so good on the wrist. Yeah, this is one I would love to add to the personal collection, and I'm going to say something super terrible now, but I would actually sell my Cartier tank for something like this, and yeah, I'm probably going to get hate for that, but I don't care. I think this is gorgeous. Go check it out on the website and get yourself a great deal. From there, let's switch it over to another modern piece, and this is actually the now discontinued Omega Speedmaster Sapphire Sandwich. So next is a discontinued Sapphire Sandwich. So this is the earlier generation Omega Speedmaster. This specific one is actually from May 2016 with its full giant box and paperwork, that old school one that they don't do anymore. And the reason it's called a Sapphire Sandwich is because you have sapphire on the front and sapphire on the back, so you can actually see the manually wound caliber 1861 beating away inside there. This is obviously pre the new coaxial movement, and it has the old style bracelet. Now, for those of you who have not had the chance to go into a retailer and have a look at the new one and actually try it on, I highly suggest you do before disregarding the older model. The reason being, personally, I feel like the taper on the new Speedmaster bracelet is far too much. It goes way down and it just looks tiny at the clasp. That's my personal opinion. Maybe if we get one in and I get some time with it on wrist, I'll feel differently. But as it stands, this is my preferred model of Speedmaster, this and the Hesselite version. Both great, and even the generation before this, the 3610, I want to say off the top of my head. I could be completely wrong there, but these would be my choices, or vintage, of course. But this is a really, really great example. Very clean condition, as good as new, I would say. There might be a couple of hairline marks here and there on the polish bit, but overall, very, very good condition. As I said, full box and papers, and everything you expect with the extra straps, the loop, all that good stuff. I know a lot of people who just like having the boxes more than the watch, to be honest, for those, but really, really cool. And here we go on wrist, a size most of you will be common with the Speedmaster 42 by 48mm lug to lug, under that 50mm sweet spot lug to lug I always talk about, 13.5mm thick and 20mm lug, so endless options on straps. And for me, as great as this looks on a bracelet, I would always wear this on a leather strap or a NATO or something like that. I just think it really goes with the aesthetic. But a really great watch, obviously now discontinued as well, so go check it out on the website for more details. From there, let's go to vintage chronographs, and we've got two incredible examples in their own rights. Let's actually start with the YEMA. Next up is a YEMA I have seen online a few times, but never had the opportunity to have here in stock, and when this opportunity came, I obviously jumped at it. It is a really gorgeous, very, very cool 1970s YEMA Sauce Marine. I probably just butchered that, but the nickname is Tomahawk. That's nice and easy. So inside here is a Valjoux 7734, which is the date version of the manually wound Valjoux. And as you can see, there we go, that catches it. So this dial, it actually looks like black or grey, and then you catch that light and it just pops this sort of bronzy caramel colour. Really, really gorgeous, which works so well with the loom, which is obviously aged as well in the hands and the dial. And you can see that extended minute counter over there for the chronograph, which is why it's got that nickname, the Tomahawk. It looks like an axe head more to me, but hey, I don't make up the nicknames. Really cool Bakelite bezel, which is just absolutely gorgeous. It does still rotate, friction fit, so it doesn't click or anything like that. Just a really, really nice example, really nice case, screw down case back, obviously housing that movement, and overall just a really nice looking watch, and one you won't see often at all. We'll start the chronograph there and show you it beating away. So this one, as I said, is from the 1970s, and it is 40.5mm case, which is quite big for the 70s. You know, this puts it on par with some of the bigger watches that were coming out of that period, from like the Omega Speedmaster. Obviously the Daytona at this period would have still been sort of 36mm. So it is a big chronograph for the time, which is super nice to see. But let's show it here on wrist and give you a closer look. And here we go on wrist, a really gorgeous size in my opinion. And what size you're looking at, as I said, is 40.5mm case by 47mm lug to lug, so right under that sweet spot. Only 14.5mm thick and 20mm lug, so again, endless strap options. You can see we've got it on this large hole rally style strap, which I think goes with the whole YEMA thing, because obviously they were big into racing. And a really gorgeous design. I do absolutely love this, and I think these are only going one way, which is up, and we can see that by the price we're asking for this and where the prices were just a few years ago. So if you do like this model and you're looking for a bargain, I wouldn't actually wait, because they are so rare and they hardly ever come up, and especially an example like this, and I do think it's only going to go up. But do your research, have a look, see the other examples and decide for yourself. From there to a Breitling we've actually had before, and every time we get them in, people really like them. We sold it a day before they released the new edition of it. The Breitling released the re-edition of it. That is this absolutely awesome Breitling chronograph. So a watch that Breitling have basically reintroduced with a heritage line, and I've got to be honest, I would go vintage all day long, and it's actually more affordable. So there you go. I feel like the new Breitlings are just too thick and too big on the wrist, but this is a really cool 1969 Breitling Sprint. The reference is 2010. It's often referred to as the Zorro for the mask, as you can see on the dial. There's many different names, nicknames for these. I believe another one's Bowtie, and I can't remember the others, but whatever nickname you want to give it, you can call it whatever you want, but it is the Sprint 2010, and that's what it's most commonly known as. You can see it's got red second hand. These came in a couple of different variants. There were red second hands and orange second hands. This is the red second hand, which nicely matches the red on the dial, and the red on that bezel right there, which you can see is black with silver on the inside. Quite hard to capture, but a very nice friction fit bezel. You can see you've got your Breitling signed crown over there and pump pushers to start and stop the chronograph, and inside here is the Valjoux 7733. So you can see in the YEMA we had the 7734, and that means it was with a date. The 33 is without the date. So basically the same tri-compacts, I believe it's called bicompact, sorry, so 2 register chronograph. And you can see a nice case back there as well, stating the reference and all the Breitling bits and bobs. And you can see this one actually has a original period correct Breitling buckle as well, which is nice. Paired on this sort of brown alligator strap, I think it looks quite nice, but the good thing is this will work on a huge variety of straps. But enough talk, let's show it on wrist. And here we are on wrist. Now we will be pairing it on this strap, but we'll also provide a nice black leather strap. The reason being, this is a bit of a shorter strap, so it won't fit everyone, but here we go. So the dimensions of this one are 39.5mm by 47.5mm lug to lug, sorry. So again, under that 50mm sweet spot, only 12mm thick and 19mm lug. So a little bit awkward on the lug size, but straps are still available. And as I said, we will provide one with it. So go check this one out, have a look at those macros. This is a really nice example, nice dial, and just nice overall. So there you go. Now where to go? We've got the rest are pretty much all vintage. I mean, there's a neo vintage, I guess you'd call it, over here with the Oris, but let's go into the CW-CW10. And next is a watch that may already be gone by the time you're watching this, because it is probably the nicest example I have seen of a CW-CW10. This one is from 1976, a really nice example, as I said, and those dial and those hands have aged beautifully and evenly as well. This model does have the ETA 2750 inside, which is the hacking. So if we pull out this crown, if I can get my nails in there you go, you can see the second hand stops, and that's what hacking means. It allows you to synchronize the time, which was important because these were used in actual military operations. So it needed to be able to be accurate and synchronizable. And if you have a look at the case back, you can actually see all the military markings as well, right in there. I'll try and put it on screen if not, but really nicely done. There you go, you can sort of see it all. We've got it on this thick leather strap, which I think looks nice, but again, with this kind of heat, you probably want to put it on a fabric NATO, but either way, it's nice to have this strap as well when it gets a bit colder. This will definitely be one to wear, but really nice case condition as well. But the dial is the highlight, and that's always the thing to look out for. And also not reloomed. A lot of these end up getting reloomed, which is always a shame. And I've always been toying around with the idea of adding a W10, either the Hamilton or the CWC. I think I actually prefer the CWC to the personal collection, but you know, I can't keep adding everything, so this one is for sale and potentially already sold. But let's show on wrist and talk sizes. And here we go. So really well proportioned. This is at 35.5mm by 41mm lug to lug, only 10mm thick, obviously made thicker by the NATO strap, and 18mm lugs. Really nice proportion, very nice sort of cushion tonneau case, which is why I've always liked these. They wear slightly different to the sort of typical military watches that are obviously round. I think this is probably one of the nicest, and also the fact CWC make this today, and Hamilton make their version as well. So obviously military is coming back, well, it's been coming back for years and it's on the way up, so a good investment, if you will. From there to a classic that you guys and girls always love and seem to snap them up pretty quick, a beautiful 34mm Amiga Seamaster. I absolutely love getting these 34mm Denison case Amiga Seamasters in. So Denison was a steel and case maker here in the UK that made these slightly thicker, bigger cases for these Amiga Seamasters. They usually nickname the fat lugs as well because the lugs are bigger, and it just makes the 34mm wear that little bit bigger on wrist and gives it a better proportion. But to be honest, I think the 34mm is perfect. The 36mm is obviously the ideal in most cases, but for those of you with a smaller wrist or those ladies out there, this is absolutely stunning on wrist, and I would definitely check it out. So this one is from 1956, and the specific reference is 3644, and as you can see, it's a snap-on caseback, Amiga signed crown over there at 3 o'clock, and it still has its original Amiga etched crystal, which is very hard to capture, but right in the center it's got a little Amiga logo. The dial is original and the handset and everything like that, and you can see it has aged and developed a patina, which I think is really nice and suits the watch. But some of you out there, I know you don't like patina, this may not be for you, but check out the macros, we're very honest and showing all that kind of stuff. But a really, really great looking watch. We paired it on this nice suede, which always works with these in my opinion. But enough talk, let's show it on wrist and show off that beautiful case. And here we are on wrist, as I said, 6 3/4 inch wrist, and this is beautifully sized at 34mm by 42.5mm lug to lug, only 10.5mm thick and 18mm lug, so endless options on straps. As I said, suede works super well with these. I've actually seen a couple of people wear them on colourful NATOs, and that's quite fun as well. But the strap options are yours. We sell them on the straps we sell them on, but at the end of the day, straps can be changed, so that's the least part to focus on the watch. That's where the money is. But a really gorgeous example. Check out the macros, check out the description. Any questions, shoot them over. And now the 1990s, late 1990s, I would say, Oris pointer date. Next up we have a really gorgeous Oris. And I've always liked Oris, I've gone on about them many times. One of the last independent brands actually out there as well, which is nice to see. One of the final ones was Breitling, but Oris are now one of the few remaining true Swiss independent brands with a great history as well, and one definitely worth researching. But this is the Oris pointer date, which they've been making for many years. I think it started in around the 50s, and the reason it's called a pointer date is because you have the date around the outside and a pointer with a nice red sort of hollow moon-ish, if you'll call it that, there showing the date. And you can see you've got this double-stepped bezel, which is really nicely done, leading to a acrylic crystal, so plastic crystal, which obviously can be polished. You've got a nice button crown over there and an exhibition case back. So some of you may be looking at this very confused, going, where's the red rotor that Oris are famous for? Well, the red rotor didn't come in until around 2002, 2003, so this is prior to that date, which is why I've dated it to the late 1990s. So it had the golden rotor, so that's what they did before that. And inside here, the movement is actually an ETA 2688, very reliable and very easy to maintain movement. And the specific reference of this model is the 2403-40B. But there you go. So it doesn't come with any paperwork or box, but it does come with its original buckle and a very nice condition overall. Okay, here we go. Let's show it on wrist. Really well proportioned. As usual with Oris, they get that spot on. And this one is 34mm by 40.5mm, only 11mm thick and 18mm lugs. We will provide it with another strap as well, because I'm not actually a big fan of the strap, but at the end of the day it does go with it, and the buckle fits nicely as well. But really gorgeous design and very well sized. I mean, a couple of people have said 34 is just too small. I say you need to try it on, because if 34 is too small, I mean, at the end of the day, Muhammad Ali wore a small Cartier tank and he was a beast. So there you go. But go check this one out on the website for more information. And a really interesting, quite small, but really cool US Navy Hamilton. Another military watch, and this time a early 1940s Hamilton World War II US Navy watch. Now the specific reference of this is a long one, so prepare yourself. It's R88-W-800 KH3, and they're often known as the model KH3. You can see you've still got that radium on the dial and in the handset, so don't go licking this dial and you'll be okay. I often get asked about radium, is it dangerous to wear and all this kind of stuff. No, to be honest with you, most of the radiation is actually on the material itself. Yes, it will give off a reading on a sort of Geiger counter, but nothing too dangerous, nothing to worry about too much. And to be honest, you're probably not wearing a radium watch every day because it's more than likely a very early piece, which means you should be wearing it on occasion and looking after it, not wearing it every single day. And obviously, don't lick the dial and you'll be fine. That's what I say, but here we go. You can see it says Hamilton there on the dial, very faintly etched, which is how they did it, and it actually has a H between the lugs right there on the case. And as it is a military watch, you will see military markings on the case back as well, in relation to the reference I just said and the serial number. Now this one is from the 1940s. You can see it is a chrome case with a chrome crown, so the chrome has come off and it's got some wear and tear and patina and everything like that, which I think really goes with the aesthetic of this watch. It is a smaller watch, so I know a few people are going to be straight away going, this is too small for them at 31mm. I'll be honest, it probably is too small for some of you guys out there and girls, but for the most part, I think you've got to give it a try because it will surprise you, especially on a NATO strap. It beefs it up, and the whole aesthetic of this watch is a smaller aesthetic anyway, so don't worry. But inside here, manually wound Hamilton caliber 987A, very good and reliable movement, but let's show on wrist to give you the proportions. And here we go on wrist, as you can see. 31mm by 38.5mm lug to lug, 11mm thick and 16mm lugs. On the NATO strap, it makes it wear bigger. Does it still look like a small watch? 100%, but that's the aesthetic. You know, these vintage military watches weren't particularly big. Now, yes, there was the Dirty Dozen, which were bigger, but for the most part, they were this kind of size, and I think it looks really nice, especially on this NATO, so go check it out. And that leaves us with two gold watches. Both were presentation watches, so they were given for working for a company for so many years, and they still have the engraving on the back. We've decided to leave it. If you would prefer it taken out and you're going to buy this watch, we can get that done for you, but we feel it's part of the story. So let's start with this really awesome Garand from 91 with its box and papers. And next, a presentation watch, as I was saying, and this is a really, really nice, really cool 9-carat gold Garand. It doesn't really have a model name because it's just a simple manually wound Garand. It does come with its box and paperwork, which is nice, dating it to November 1991. And if we flip it over, you can see the engraving here, especially if I put it the right way. There we go. So go to the website for a closer look and everything like that. We may have found out a little bit about the company, so give it a read, but there's nothing really more than that. But really good condition. It looks like this watch was probably worn once or twice. It actually does come with its original strap in the box as well, but we paired it on a new leather so you can actually wear it. Nice brigade style numerals right there, date window over at 3. It's just a classic looking gold watch with a little bit of personal history, which is quite nice. Not everyone likes it, but at the end of the day, we thought we'd keep it on there for you guys and girls who do. And beating away inside this watch is a manually wound ETA caliber 2801-2, a very reliable ETA movement. And now let's show it on wrist. And here we go on wrist. So 33.5mm case by 39.5mm lug to lug, only 8.5mm thick and 18mm lugs. Kind of the perfect dress watch really, especially in 9-carat gold. And when you see the price and you consider you're getting full box and paperwork, that's kind of cool. So I'd say go check this one out and it will surprise you. I think this watch is nearly 30 years old if my quick math is correct, which is just bonkers to think 91 is nearly 30 years. That is mad, but go check it out. And last but definitely not least, a really gorgeous 9-carat gold Zenith. And finally, a really gorgeous 9-carat gold 1970s Zenith, manually wound with those beautifully applied numerals, sword hands, sorry, which just glimmer in the light and look really, really gorgeous. Little sub-seconds down there at 6 o'clock, but this is a very nice example with its original Zenith crown still, as you can see, and another engraving on the back. So something for those who like this kind of history with a watch, which I think is really cool. This person worked 25 years of service and got a 9-carat gold Zenith. That is a nice little touch. I mean, they don't really do that anymore, but there you go. Really clean white dial. Just aesthetically, it's a good looking watch. I don't think you can really go wrong. There's not an awful lot to say about it. It is on the smaller side, so maybe one for the ladies out there or for gentlemen who like a smaller watch. You know, anyone can wear anything, so let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we are, and just before I forgot to say, inside is the manually wound ETA 2541, again another reliable smaller ETA caliber, 31mm case by 38.5mm lug to lug, 8.5mm thick and 16mm lugs. Again, a perfect dress watch alternative. Kind of the same size as some of the early Calatravas from Patek as well at 31mm. And you know what? The aesthetic is very similar. Not quite the same, but similar. So perfect for the price we're asking for this, which is under £500 for a solid 9-carat gold Zenith. Go check it out. So there you have it, guys and girls. That is this week's drop. An awesome range of 10 pieces, from modern to semi-modern to vintage to everything in between, all different case sizes, all different case materials as well. These are the kind of drops we absolutely love to do, and it's thanks to you guys and girls selling us your watches or consigning your watches that we can do this. So please keep that up. We do appreciate it, and we are well on track for all of our goals this year. You never know, we may be hiring someone towards the end of the year as well, which is super exciting and very scary to say as well. This is it all feels very real. But anyway, we hope you guys and girls are well, keeping safe, and obviously enjoying the nice weather. And let's hope this lockdown comes to an end. Please, Boris, let us free, but we'll see. All right, take care, guys.